Hello, Betty Crossman here. We have heard an awful lot these last months about Greece's problems and with the international banking system. And it's brought home to me and to a lot of other people from what I've been reading that Canada is not immune to this kind of treatment from these international banks. The Troika, they're called, the IMF, the European Commission, the European Bank, Central Bank, they're just merciless, and they're like vultures hovering around waiting for a dying carcass, because what they do is they give money then to help these countries who are gasping their last economic breaths, give them these loans that are to be paid back to them with interest. They actually are making a whole bunch of money on other nations' distress. We have a national bank. We have the Bank of Canada, and it's a public bank. It was treated as a public bank before Pierre Trudeau turned it over to the private banks in 1974, but it's still there and it's still our bank. And if Trudeau could turn it over to the private banks, well, we can yank it back from the private banks, because the government could borrow from the Bank of Canada when it was treated as our public bank for no interest or very little interest. Now we're paying interest on compound interest to private banks, just as Greece is being forced to do in an accelerated mode. So what can we do about this? What do our politicians know about this? Can we put pressure on them? And I think, yes, we can. That with the election coming up, that they should all be questioned about what they know about the Bank of Canada and what are their opinions about trying to revert it back to what it was created for in the first place, which is the public bank to which Canadians could have their public expenditures just simply paid out of taxation money and not heavily leveraged through compound interest by private banks. We should ask them. Now, the only one I know who's attempted to deal with this and to look at what might be how we could go about getting solutions to get our bank back was through the political parties. And Elizabeth May tried to get through the Green Party with like-minded people in the Green Party, motion that this would be included in, as I understand it, their party platform. It was voted down, but I think Elizabeth May, you should take another vote. We really, really need our bank back. I don't believe that the Liberals would do anything about this or attempt to deal with it. After all, it was Justin Trudeau's father who turned it over to the private banks to start with. I don't think the NDP will do anything about this either, or attempt to, or speak to it in any meaningful way, because they're ahead in the polls now, and they're doing good things. I'm not trying to say they aren't, but they're going right down the middle. I don't think they're going to risk any risky behavior at this point. And as far as Stephen Harper, well, give me a break. Don't make me laugh. He's not going to do anything that's really seriously beneficial for the Canadian people. He's off in his own world of Armageddon and the rapture or whatever. So let's look at Elizabeth May. Seriously, I have the utmost respect for her, and there are other ways we can put pressure on the establishment. There is now a case in court about this. Yes, there is. And it's a very interesting case, and we'll talk about that next time. Thanks to my producer, Marion Crosvick, and my text editor, Peter Miller. Thank you, guys. Okay, bye. Okay.